Welcome back, everyone. It's me, Key, and joining me, of course, is Quack. We just had a banger of a series with Bren Victress taking a dominant 2-0 lead, but right now we're gonna have an even better series. I feel like, better in the sense that we are in the upper bracket finals, where we see, two teams that have secured a top 3 placement. But right now, it begs the question: are Alter Ego Celeste going to be challenged once and for all? We've been saying this multiple times, but we want to see Alter Ego Celeste. Let's see if some competition can be brought up to them. And right now it's going to be Team SMG coming in from the other side of the bracket, challenging them. What do you think, Kendrell?
We've been saying this since forever, right?
Yeah, I think it's probably been a year now. I can't
More
count.
than a year, honestly.
Yeah.
Before Celeste or even Alter Ego Celeste, when they were just Celeste, when the game first came out, they've been playing together. It's the same squad. Well, this time with the addition of Fixky, of course, but it's still impressive.
Napsky.
Oh, Napsky, excuse me. Fixky is from the other team, from SMG.
Yes, correct.
But
you're right. It's the same core, same dominant core, in fact, and it seems like they've just been unchallenged.
Honestly, though, there was this one fun fact. The first year of FSL, like before Riot came in and it became Game Changers, there was one open when, well, it wasn't SMG, but Kohibi was in that team. I think they were called something like Ovu Valorant or like Seven Sins or something along those lines, and they actually won against Celeste. The one time that it actually happened, the one time Celeste actually lost in an open, it was Kohibi and Yoki in one of these teams to actually do it.
Oh, it was Kohibi and Yoki together. And
Yeah.
this new Team SMG iteration is the same thing, right?
Exactly.
We have Kohibi and Yoki again, and we're going to just take a look at the lineup. So this is a new Team SMG. They made a little bit of roster changes when they were still known as Renatus White previously. The same core remains: Kohibi, Envious, K Aphrodite. With the addition of Yoki and Fixky, two Thai players coming in, they've been cruising on their side of the bracket. They've been after a not so stellar Open 1, this Open 2, they've just been very dominant. In fact, I don't think they dropped a map in the group stages, and in the playoffs, they've just been dominating their opponents.
Cruising? Cruising? You want to say cruising?
Yeah, I said cruising. I said what I said.
All right, we don't take those back because they truly did. I mean, round wins in their group stages, they really had such an relatively easy time. I mean, I don't think they even let their opponents get towards double digits in any of those maps. But you know what?
Not at all.
Alter Ego Celeste is one of those teams that do the exact same thing, except for yesterday, where they lost Ascent to Bren Esports Victress, 14-12 on Ascent. That's why I'm very curious about what map picks we have today. I mean, we know these girls, we know these queens: Iceberg, Aneri, Ayumi, Oreophilia, minus Tarathiel, but plus Napsky, and they are still as strong. I mean, in one of those interviews with Tash, it's been said they don't really have an IGL to really call strats or lead them anymore, but every single one of them chips in now. And I think that's something you might compare them to Sentinels when they didn't really have a coach, maybe Cloud9 White. I'm not quite sure how that plays out, but they really still dominate in every single one of these VCT Game Changers APAC Opens.
Yeah, and I'm really interested at the map picks. You mentioned it. The map pool, these two teams are actually very strong in multiple maps. They probably will have one map that they're not great against that the other team is. So those are going to be the straight bans. I believe it's going to be Bind, and I believe
Calling it out.
the other map. I think likely a
Fracture
ban against MT. Yeah, I think it would be. So we'll have to see about that, because the map picks are going to be shown on the screen right now. It's gonna be, the bans are going to be Bind. Oh, it's actually Ascent.
Okay.
So Celeste are afraid of that Ascent pick, and Fracture is going to be the last map. So here's the thing. So you mentioned Ascent, where Alter Ego Celeste lost yesterday. That's probably a little bit on them. And here's what's surprising for me. The Icebox ban is kind of that makes sense, because we've seen Alter Ego Celeste on Icebox. Even though SMG are pretty good at Icebox themselves, they probably feel that okay, Celeste are better. But Celeste ban split.
That's different.
Riddle me that.
I really do not know. I mean, they used to dominate on that map so well. They even pulled out things like triple sentinel compositions. Even back when Inari and Ayumi would go in with this hyper aggressive Raze plus Jet combo. Perhaps this time, with the new additions, the new changes to Valorant now, 4.04, 4.05, you might just want to try some different strats. Perhaps they want to even go in with like a chamber or something. Maybe Split doesn't really work out. So here comes all of these more open maps. Breeze.
I was gonna say they're huge maps. All three maps are probably the biggest maps in Valorant. You have Breeze, you have Haven, you have Fracture. Honestly, Breeze is one of my favorite maps. A lot of people don't like it because of how big it is, but I think that's the beauty of it. Like you get to take those long range fights, and it's a little bit of a different game as how you say the total opposite of Breeze is Split, which is a completely tiny map, like so many corners, and then you have to take a lot of close range fights. And I'm just really surprised that we're not seeing Split for Alter Ego Celeste, because it was left open. They could have picked it, but right now it seems like they're gonna play. I want to see Breeze. You know, Breeze, I feel like can give us a benchmark of how the team is doing, because so many aim duels that goes on. I think Breeze is a little bit less forgiving in terms of rotations. Like you have to be fast on the rotate, otherwise the retakes are just difficult. So I like Breeze being the first map as kind of like a litmus test of where these teams are and whether we'll go to a game 3.
Definitely a little bit. But now I'm really trying to think, like, what kind of agent composition are they really going to pull out here? Haven, I'm a little bit scared for that, but we can talk about that a little bit later on, just because both teams have been known to play pretty well on those maps, but Alter Ego Celeste have been putting a little bit more emphasis on that one now. I mean, they picked it earlier on against Orangutan Esports, and I think they won that 13-1. A little bit unfortunate for OG, but it shows what AEC have planned. SMG might have a rough time on that one, so Breeze is going to be pretty crucial. And again, agent compositions, let's take a look. Viper, kind of possibly a given, but the rest of it, are we seeing that chamber?
Yeah, but this is gonna be the chamber. It might be a Yumi on the chamber instead of a double duelist line from AE Celeste. A Yumi might be flexing. And it looks like it might be a mirror matchup between the two, because we know that Envious is going to pick that Jet.
Of course, of course.
That is no question here. But again, the biggest thing though, Kohaibi, being able to flex onto the sky, I think is actually really interesting. It really unlocks Team SMG's team composition. And on the other side, Nabsky as well, being able to flex. We've seen her flex sometimes to Sentinel, sometimes to Initiator. I think Nabsky is a great addition to the team. He really was able to fill Tarathiel's huge shoes coming into this, and she's been playing well. And Alter Ego Celeste, Oriophila as well, filling in where Margot used to be. So I think that this AE Celeste, the core of Ayumi, Iceberg, and Inari is still keeping them really strong no matter what. And the two players that they added fit really well to the team. I mean, they've been Oriophila has been with the team as a sub, so they just gel really well still.
I think it's worth mentioning Iceberg's big clutch on Bind yesterday against Bren Esports Victress. I think it was a 1v4 or 1v3 casted by Sleepy as well as Zeaora. Incredible plays, and that's why these players are all names that you want to remember, names that you want to look out for. SMG, they are strong, don't get me wrong, but I think they need a little bit more. They've been practicing, they've been coming in with this new-ish roster, and they have, support with it from a coach, Fal, aka Alex from Team SMG, but is that really going to help them all that much? On a map like Breeze, where it's so big and open, we know how sharp the AEC players can be. Inari, a Yumi, especially if it's a Yumi on a chamber, she has so much potential to lock down angles, to block off positions just through sheer presence alone. SMG, they're starting out an attack. They will need fast, hard-hitting executes just to break into sites.
Yeah, and the mirror matchup, I really like. I feel like this is the cookie cutter Breeze lineup. Like, we saw a little bit of variation earlier on. We saw the Reyna in place of a Sky. Worked out for them. We also saw the Cypher come in, which is, to me, not exactly the best pick on Breeze. Now that Chamber exists. I mean, before Chamber existed, Cypher was the kind of like best Sentinel to play on Breeze. But I feel like Chamber is a much better pick right now because the Rendezvous allows you to close the gap on the map. Like
It worked out for Bren. The Cypher worked out for
It did.
Bren.
It did. The Cypher, the Reyna, it worked out for Bren. It really did. Which is what I'm saying here. But Alter Ego, Celeste, and SMG, we've seen these teams duke it out multiple times. Various opens, various iterations, various banners that they're playing for. But it's the same teams, and they've butt heads with each other multiple times, and they know what's up. And look, their lineups, I feel they're very refined, which is why they're playing these lineups that are the same. Because this is basically what they figured out to be the cookie cutter lineup
The
is.
optimal composition. I mean, even take a look at the weapon picks. I'm a little bit interested by Fixie opting for the Frenzy, but the Jets and their Sheriffs, a couple of Ghosts. This is gonna be a big firefight. Let's go. First map on Breeze. AE Celeste in the upper bracket finals against the challengers, Team SMG. Starting out on attack. They've spread out across the map so evenly, Marquis.
Yeah, it's a really interesting mid control as well from AE. They had 3 members. Oh, okay, Aphrodite with the first frag. Already pushed up on Halls. She's gonna play it safe though, not gonna push any further. Teleports back, in fact. Might just go for an A execute here as the Viper screen comes up. Immediately cuts off the A side. Nobody's in A anymore, and SMG should be able to get his plant for free.
Alright. Mary's certainly going to try to do something about that, though. Firing pot shots through the smoke does not find anything. In fact, eats a shock dart to her face. 37 HP, and she can still do damage, however, so I wouldn't count her out. Napsky walking in towards position. They are trying to retake the site, but Fixie and all of those bullets, they're stopping them in their tracks. AEC cannot push up front. It's all up to a Yumi now, and she picks up a Sheriff, but to what avail as Kohaibi right in front of her face. It's a Ghost. It's a win. It's 1-0.
Yeah, it's completely unexpected because SMG just won every single fight that they wanted to fight. And right now, they're just... This is what we wanted to see, right? Like, SMG giving AE Celeste a run for their money. This execute was great. Getting the first kill, scaring off the chamber. I think that right now we're seeing them to a hot start, especially after they didn't seem to gel so well in the first round. But really hot start from Team SMG right now.
Hot start indeed. My God, they're pulling out 2 Bulldogs. Again, it's a good buy, but also a little bit of a gamble, similar to Twirly and her Vandals. But here comes AEC. They're trying to play close range, dodging in and out, but it doesn't work anyway because all these guns are just too darn powerful. 2-0, and SMG are just going in hand.
Oh, they didn't get a spike plan. A little bit of hesitation there from Yoki, but that's 300 credits down. But that was a gamble from AE Celeste, and they still lost. Even though they had all 5 on the side, even though they had a stack. We saw that before in Bren versus Zol as well. The gamble kind of failed. The stack doesn't always work out anyway. But right now, AE Celeste, they have the big guns. Can they make something out of this?
Marquis, the economist, ladies and gents, you don't have 300 creds, but let's see if they can still pull something out of the bag. They're going in aggressive, though, all the way in towards mid, and they run straight in towards the Hellfire coming out of AE Celeste. But at the same time, this allows for Aphrodite to strike from the back. But just as that happens, a Yumi from the back of the site as well? Oh no. 1v3, and all Kohaibi has is a Spectre. Still sprays down a Yumi at that range too. Goes in up front, throws out a Hawk. I know that she can go in and close the distance, but she walked straight into the cubby. Pulls out the Trailblazer, tries to get a little bit more information. She might have just boxed herself in. Iceberg answers back with a drone of her own. And now she's been tagged. Here comes the darts. Down to half HP. 2 players now looking down her very position. A single mistake, a single move, and she could be dead. Headshot to close it out. She's tried to set up for yet another angle hold, but I guess it didn't work out. 1-2, AE Celeste comes back.
Yeah, they take 3 guns away from AE Celeste, and SMG have the economy for a full buy and then some.
Well, still a little bit of damage. I mean, they took out 3 players. We've been seeing this quite a bit today. SMG get the buyback in full, and of course, a Yumi Napsky Guardian Bulldog.
Yeah, they have to get the cheaper rifles. It's kind of like a flavor pick as well. I feel like some people would prefer light armor plus a Vandal rather than getting a Bulldog plus full armor. So a little bit of a flavor pick there, I feel. You could also sacrifice a little bit of utility sometimes to get the bigger gun. But I think that especially for a map like
Whoa.
Oh, okay. And Mary, getting a little bit too curious, got immediately punished by Envious. She just got smacked there, caught out in the open without any cover, wasn't even able to dash because of how fast that headshot was. And SMG looked to execute towards B.
It's early days, and I don't want to jinx anything, but so far this looks pretty good. And SMG, they want to chain this into a win streak. Recon Bolt, though, does buy a little bit of time and a little bit of distraction for a Celeste. Allows for Oreophilia to peek out, but she does get traded instead. Toxic Screen still allows for the team to get the spike planted, and now they're setting up their post plants, trying to watch out for these angles. They know the A Celeste girls have already rotated. Shock Dart's coming in as well and allows for Iceberg to push up front. She starts to creep in and starts to find Fixkey as well. Yoki holding the angle does not react in time, and all of a sudden the site's defenses have all broken apart. It's up to Kfredite. Can she do it again? The clutch Kfredite Queen can't really quite close out the angles because the player is already sticking the defuse. She gets the kills, but A Celeste gets the win.
Yeah, she gets her 1v3 yet again. She got the kills, but unfortunately did not have enough time. She was just about a second too late. But they did a lot of damage to the economy. SMG though, they don't have the economy because they lost that round as well. It's gonna be really difficult for Kfredite though, hitting those shots, but they're gonna need a bit more to take down Alter Ego Celeste here.
It's kind of rough. Losing that round as well, no round win bonus. They're forced to eco for a little bit. Kfredite starting to build somewhat of a bank though. She does have her tour de force, so it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. But like you said, they need something extra just to win out in these rounds. Somehow that post-plant setup got completely dismantled by Alter Ego Celeste, and now SMG just going into spread out for that huge default.
Yeah, I thought SMG still had enough to force buy this round, so I'm surprised. I mean, you could drop a gun from K. She can use her tour de force, but they elected to go for an eco instead. Envious actually gets taken down by Oreophilia from across the site with that Spectre. Oh, it's actually an A execute. They're gonna run into the site. Ayumi takes one out before using the rendezvous to get away. The flash, great flash, but great headshot from Yoki. Trying to make it as expensive as they can. As Kfredite, ever so sneaky, gets a double kill, and SMG have evened things out. It's a 2v2 right now.
Well, still in position. She's still hiding underneath. Narrowly avoids the drone, but still gets spotted out at the end of it. So Oreophilia goes in with a nasty spray from a Spectre. At that range, it's a little bit unfortunate just because Kfredite was trying to back off. Fixkey now behind the boxes. The barrel was spotted out a little bit early, and Oreophilia, my goodness, just comes up with yet another triple. It's 2-2. Well, no, 3-2 after the defuse.
Yeah, it's a little bit too close to the box. The moment Fixkey turned around, her barrel was seen. I think that you gotta think about that whenever. I think it's just a little bit of. Sometimes you just want to min-max things. She tried to hug the Viper wall.
Yeah.
And because of that, she didn't realize that when she turned, the barrel would be seen. Kfredite with a great flank here, and Oreophilia just sealing the deal. She had a Spectre to start the round. But SMG again made it more expensive. Alter Ego Celeste are being prevented from building up an economy. Look at them. Two of them, at least, they have Tour de Force. We have 10 ultimates up, by the way. This is crazy. Yeah, Tour de Force is up. Blade Storm is also up. So A Celeste have elected to use the Tour de Force plus the Blade Storm.
Uh-oh, here it comes. All those ultimates, the tour de force, the seekers, it's all getting sent down, but unfortunately Ayumi's just locking it down with the tour de force. 2 shots hammered through, and all of a sudden they're slowed. It's a great stall. The triple kill as well. No way. This B side is hers, but here comes SMG. They're still breaking through, and then the Blade Storm getting pulled out by Inari. They secure the win, not giving up anything to Team SMG. It's 4-2.
Yeah, off of that tour de force, I think bit of a misplay from Team SMG there, not being able to flush her out. Even peeked her twice, because after the first kill, the slow field comes out. You need smokes, you need flashes, you need to flush her out. I think Envious needed to swing out faster there because she was already on the site here, and Ayumi was able to swing out and get a second kill. By the time she was able to swing off the corner, it was too late, and Ayumi is able to pick her off. And by that time, there's just not much for SMG to do, as Celeste have already collapsed on their attack. Right now, it's SMG that's they're the ones using the ultimates this time around, and it looks like SMG, they get the first kill onto Nevsky.
I feel like we're playing another game, but here comes all the ultimates getting sent back and forth in waves. The tour de force is good, but it's not as effective because you're not defending, you're attacking. At the very most, that slow field just prevents them from re-peeking you. And now it kind of even calls out for Ophelia to drop the Viper's Pit. Goes in for yet another peek, but Inari just a little bit sharper. My goodness, at that range too, and a Vandal. It's the RGX. It's down to the 4v4. And AE Celeste are just blocking off this site. There's too much utility. They've got 50 seconds. Not sure if Team SMG wants to continue falling through.
I think they're trying to look for more kills. A bit of an eco for them, but the Sheriffs... Oh, but Ophelia, so sharp with the Vandal. She's been really showing up for AE Celeste right now, locking those sites down. We saw this with Shirazi as well, and now it's Ophelia on that Viper. And here, we see SMG calling that timeout, and you talked about it. The value of a coach. What can a coach bring to the table here? SMG are 3 rounds down. Envious, the duelist, is not getting those frags. She's not getting her kills. What is going on here? What will Foul tell his team?
He'll give out some carrot cake. I'm kidding. But no, more serious note. I mean, there certainly is something that he can provide. Perhaps it's the fact that these A executes haven't really worked out too well at the current moment. They've been looking for some duels, but against Alter Ego Celeste, they're just not fully getting them. I mean, even coming down to it, they get some frags, but positioning the positions, like stuff being held on the other side by Ophelia, it's a little bit tough for them to push up against. It's an off angle.
Yeah, so many off angle calls by Ophelia. I think they really need to flush the Viper out because those walls are confusing SMG quite a bit. Like, you can see that the executes aren't clean. But what I want to see as well is a little bit of mid control. That's we haven't really been seeing from Team SMG. They like playing a 4-1 with Aphrodite playing that flank. She's been playing really well as well. 10 kills on K. But it's really not working out for SMG. It's a bit of a similar problem to what we saw with Zol Meraki, where they do get the plants, they might get into the site, but their post plants, they just don't have enough time. Oh, look at the two wolves passing each other. It's actually hilarious. And Neri was able to come out in front though, as Yoki takes a little bit of a crazy duel there. Oh, and Neri gets tagged down though, not going to be able to receive the healing just yet, because you need a few seconds before you can actually get healed after you take damage. He gets taken down, but it's gonna get topped up by this guy, only up about 50 health. And SMG done a little bit of chip damage, but there's only one member on A remaining, but it's Ophelia. She's been the anchor of this site. She's been holding this down. And can they actually break her defenses this time?
They need to. The poison cloud is so annoying as well. She's dropping snake bites, but they're still going in to stick the plant. Here comes the Hunter's Fury from Iceberg though. Even if Ophelia's down, there is support. The rest of the team, they are already here. Are you kidding me? 2 players are all that remains, and even with the spike down, they cannot hold it just because Alter Ego Celeste are swarming them down. Stuck in that one position. K tries, but Napsky closes it out. It's 6-2. Alter Ego Celeste. It's just so damn fast, Marquis.
Yeah, just too fast, and like I mentioned, they got the plant down, but right after the plant, they lose 3 members immediately, and then suddenly the post plan has been dismantled. Kay didn't even have the time to put down her rendezvous to get out of dodge. She was stuck in that corner, and as a chamber, that feels bad because if she actually had the rendezvous here to go into main, she actually might have had a chance to play these 1v1s and, you know, do clutch for daddy things, but she was stuck there.
Just boxed in. That position, that one little corner sometimes bites you in the back. And down by 4 rounds. That's 6 rounds in a row that AE Celeste have won. The bank is definitely there now.
Yeah,
they are getting courageous. Look at this.
Yeah, they build out the bank. Inari, ever so aggressive, always pushing out mid no matter what. She did push out even though they weren't winning a while ago. But it doesn't matter because she's so confident with an operator. We've seen that. We've seen her stare down an Owl drone before. She's not scared. She's just going to play forward.
There she is again. Fired off a shot. A lot of presence now on the map by AE Celeste. Look at them. They're not even on the B site. They're around it. They can set up for big flanks, and that is exactly what Ayumi's going for. 2 headshots, so crisp. How does SMG respond to this?
Yeah, it's just so difficult to flush him out. If it's not Oreophilia, it's Ayumi, and right now Nebsky as well. They just can't find a single kill. They just get taken out, and it's a flawless round from AE Celeste. What was a promising start from Team SMG is starting to look like just a warm-up for AE Celeste.
I am terrified, Marquis. I mean, earlier on, we might have been a little bit scared for Zolmaraki against Bren, but this series, I'm shaking. There was a timeout being called, but I mean, you studied a little bit of computer studies or science. You kind of know how debugging works. You kind of fix one problem. The coach might have told them about one thing, but AE Celeste just throw a whole host of different situations at them. I mean, look at this. Now there's a guiding light, and Inari tries to peek out once more.
Yeah, this mid control, I said they should take mid control, but how can they when Inari hits those shots when she actually missed one shot. It's an ego for Team SMG. Yoki's still alive.
Just a bit of support from her teammate as well. Just to allow for Inari to stay alive. But look at them. All across mid. Top mid. The back of B. They can see the rotations right before their very eyes. And as soon as this information gets called out, yep, Ayumi is moving all the way on towards the top of bridge, in towards the A side, the back of the pyramids, just to stop and prevent SMG from walking through.
Hey, you don't want to let them get the spike down. There's extra creds. It's a chance to lose as the sheriffs come and take Ayumi down. Oh, through the smoke, the information, and there he's able to take Fixky down. The spike is down as well. Yoki is going to try to look for a kill as Nebsky is just going to finish her off. Kohibi is there though. Takes one more kill. All down to Kfredite. Can the Headhunter find any heads? No. As Iceberg finishes her off. 8-2 right now. AE Celeste have won 8 rounds in a row.
I mean, just so much value being provided. That one operator. Support from Nebsky. Support from Iceberg. There's just too much. I mean, look at that. The recon bolt allowed for that free kill. And even though the sheriffs did some damage, it just wasn't enough. Every single round, we see Alter Ego Celeste push out into the middle, and they do that for good reason. Anytime that Team SMG tries a different route, tries to rotate around, Alter Ego Celeste are there to stop them.
I've got your trail.
Yeah, great information from Kfredite there. She knows where the op is. She knows that there's one more there, but Nebsky is pushing out in front, and they already lose Envious. She's really struggling right now to find those opening frags. She had a few at the early part of the game, but she's just not able to find those kills right now. And it looks like she's having trouble getting those. Ayumi misses the shot though. Kfredite able to teleport out, but Nebsky was waiting. Sneaky Nebsky able to take Kfredite out, and it's 3v5. SMG look like they've been on the back foot for every single round now.
It's just seemingly unfortunate, but Alter Ego Celeste are one step ahead every single step of the way. And right now, it's seemingly yet another flawless as the shock dart plus the bullets from the Vandal brings forward. It's flawless win. 9-2. Last round of the first half now. And I'm not sure what SMG can really pull out.
Just feels like they're losing every single duel. They just can't get into the site. The executes just aren't there. Look at this. It's just a dry peek inside, and there's just nothing that they could do because they already lost 2 members. Your jet is down. I think, yeah, okay. I was gonna say they should just rush. All 5 members rush in because Envious has died trying for default duels every single time. Change that by trading instead. Maybe the trades get you more favorable results. There's the information coming in, there's the op coming in as well. There's Hunter's Fury. There's a great execute from Team SPB so far, but they have to get into the site. And he gets taken down yet again, and she just can't buy a single kill. Oh, she has 1, but that's it. Okay, SMG, they're finally finding those kills, finally finding 3 kills. This is the first time in a long time that I've seen them at an advantage. Ophelia tries to even things out. Ayumi makes things even. It's now down to 1v1. Yoki with only 5 HP. She needs a headshot here, but she takes at the wrong angle, and Celeste still get the round.
The second win gets denied. They had the spike plant. They had everything. The execute was good. But all as it comes down to it, Ayumi snatches it away at the very last moment.
Yeah, it was finally looking like a proper execute. But again, post plants, it's just, we've been seeing that. The previous series, this series, post plants have been costing teams. It's just, they just can't hold, and it feels like we haven't seen proper post plants just yet because players are playing so fast. And I think for SMG, and similar problem with Zolmeraki, they're not able to take too much control over the site before they actually get the plant down. And we're seeing that problem. 10-2, 10 rounds in a row for Alter Ego Celeste.
You know, I just realized that they've won 10 rounds in a row, non-stop, ever since the second round after the pistol. They've won. It's ridiculous. These Alter Ego Celeste girls are incredibly sharp, incredibly fast, and they have so much control over the map that everything that SMG tries, they get shut down. They got the spike down, they get shut down. How do you... I really have no answers to this.
Yeah, it looks like it's just so difficult because AE Celeste, they have their bases covered. But I think that we'll have to see if SMG's defense might be a little bit better because it just seems like the executes weren't there for them. They're not winning the opening duels. They're not able to get the post plant. But maybe, I mean, on defense, it's a little bit of a different story, right? Like being able to hold onto a site. We'll see if AE Celeste can actually have the attack on Breeze because Breeze, yeah, so Breeze, you really need the executes, and we see that SMG did not have the executes there. If you have the executes on Breeze, you can actually take control over the post plant, and we saw Bren do it properly. Let's see when the sides flip, we might see a different SMG, or will AE Celeste just run this over because they have a pretty comfortable 10-2 lead. They're not even falling into 9-3 curse because they're in 10-2.
It means that this pistol round at the start of the second half is just that much more crucial, right? You lose it, you're basically giving Alter Ego Celeste the match point. It's tough, and we know how fast these Alter Ego Celeste girls can execute. I think in that last round earlier on, SMG, they threw everything at them. They had the Hunter's Fury, they had all the flashes, they tried to go in, but honestly, it looked like they got a little bit stifled. And even though they got some frags, when it came down to the 1v1, Alter Ego Celeste just read the situation a little bit better, knowing how to position themselves. And right now, look at how they are positioned. 4 in towards the middle. Envious, she's trying to stop them, and she will. A double kill to start things off, and she dashes away. It's a little bit of confusion as she re-peeks once more. Triple kill now. And then another coming in from Fixky and Yoki. Team SMG, they save themselves from match point.
Hey, Envious quadrupled her kill count off of that. She went from 1 to 4. I'm really gonna put it out there, but I'm gonna also put this out there. SMG have won both pistol rounds, and typically when teams win both pistol rounds, they convert that to a win about 70-80% of the time. I forget the statistic. I'm not sure if it's changed, but SMG, they look really good on the pistols.
Fairly good. They won the pistol in the first half. They won it on the second. Let's see if they can actually push it even further and even out the score. They're pushing out. There was a little bit of a hawk. They're trying to do the same thing, taking control over the middle. And thankfully, Fixky is here to block off anyone that pushes out of elbow. It's a double kill to start things off as Kohibi comes back in just to clean up. One player remains, and Envious finds her as well. It's a flawless win, and SMG are not backing down. It's 4-10.
Yeah, you know, when you're facing Alter Ego Celeste, it feels like you're probably going to be scared, giving them all the respect. But Team SMG, even though staring Alter Ego Celeste down the barrel of a 3-10 deficit, they still have the courage to push forward. They still know that, you know, we're in the upper bracket finals for a reason. We're gonna get these kills. But here's where it gets dicey. A Celeste, big guns. It's not like Turley from Bren. She buys a Vandal on round 2 to carry it over to round 3. They have close range guns. They have a few Bulldogs here and there. They do have a Marshall, as K490 misses the shot. Able to rendezvous away. Kohibi is going to try to play up the smoke with the Spectre, but that Spectre is not going to be that great in this range. Envious tries to push up elbow. Fixky hiding behind the wall there, and A Celeste are going to be able to get this plant.
Well, at the very least, the positions have been set up for the retakes. We talked about the Bulldogs, the Spectres. I just hope that they can be a little bit effective. They do not know that there is a player, Oreophilia, hiding right behind them. She strikes at the right time. It's a double kill, but thankfully Envious is there to close it out. Unfortunately, though, as soon as that happens, Ayumi and Neri, they peek out, they get hit shots. It's 11-4. Again, these two girls just ultimately frag out of their minds. It's crazy. And Neri's not even top fragging. It's Ayumi. Oreophilia, too.
Both Jets are at the bottom of the scoreboard, and yo, we see that sometimes. But it's rare to see a Neri being on the bottom of the scoreboard, and right now, A Celeste, Ayumi, and Oreophilia, that's Chamber and Viper getting all the frags.
It's incredible. There's still so much value despite being at the bottom of the scoreboard, and Neri with her presence of the operator alone from the previous half, I just hope that Envious can do the same thing, but look at what Alter Ego Celeste are doing. The fast entry, the fast execute into the B site, completely negating whatever Team SMG tries to throw out of middle. Thankfully, though, there is a little bit of a trade coming through as they held down the site. A bit of an anchor, not too effective, but still just good enough for a bit of damage. Post-plant positions have been set up. They're all on the other side of the walls. And SMG are encroaching in on their positions as well. This time, not a single lurker to be found. It's going to be Yoki that starts things off. Second one will be Envious. A bit of a trade from Iceberg, however, and all of a sudden they walk into each other's crosshairs with the numbers. SMG comes out on top, 11-5, and they are still in this game.
It looks like Envious finally woke up from a deep sleep. Right now, I think she has 10 kills already after only getting 1 in the whole first half. And that's really interesting for me. And as I mentioned, Team SMG might look different on the defending side. And they've already won more rounds on this defense than on attack. Just putting it out there, right? Like, it's already 3 rounds for them, but they still have a mountain to climb. It's still a big gap against A Celeste. They're on 11 points. They can't afford to make mistakes.
6 rounds that you have to climb through just to even it out. It's going to be difficult, and they need to play it flawlessly. Otherwise, one mistake, match point. And so here it comes. Economy is going to be a little bit more important now. Trying to stack up on the B site. They've got 2 players, one towards the top of mid. It's a standard hold. Question is, how does AE Celeste approach this?
Yeah, they just want to take as many guns as they can. So SMG, the other thing that they need to do, not just not lose, but they also can't lose too many guns. Because you have to keep your economy up if you want to go for a clean sweep. You want to reach 11-11 without dropping around, you have to maintain your economy. Because if you lose 4 players against an eco, you start having less guns. That's when AE Celeste will get that to match point. So Team SMG, they need to play clean.
Oh, no.
And Fixkey is gonna get taken down a little bit too over aggressive there, and that gun is recoverable. They're not gonna recover it just yet, but they can.
There is that option, but at the very least, AC, they're not taking that bait. They're just going straight in for the spike plant. Viper's Pit up as well to give them the extra edge. Team SMG now trying to set up for the retake. There is a player lurking towards the middle. And this is one that's going to be so pesky. They do not find it, not for the start. Envious, along with her teammate, they wallbang through, thankfully eliminating a Yumi. Sky flashes go out as well, however, and this gives them a little bit more information. It's all pistol. Surely they can win it, but no! Alter Ego Celeste are just a little bit sharper. Inside the Viper's Pit she goes, and she looks and seeks them out. Unfortunately, though, towards the back, they've evacuated that one spot. No way they win this Thrifty. No way, Marquis.
I thought SMG would kind of have the runway till about 9 rounds. But that is a tilter. Just get, like, they used the Viper's Pit to perfection, bought enough time, able to hit those shots. Ayumi from mid getting that kill, being so pesky as you mentioned, and just left no time for SMG to even get into the site. And we talked about this earlier, right? Breeze is so punishing if you don't rotate fast enough. They were playing a bit upfront on A, which is why they couldn't rotate to B fast enough. They didn't have anyone in. Fixkey a little bit too aggressive as well, dying at mid there against pistols. Didn't need to take those fights. If they had Fixkey towards B, they would have a lot more control. It wouldn't be just K4Daiti on that site. There would be 2 of them trying to defend the push, trying to look for rotates. Even though the Viper's Pit goes up, if there's 2 of them there to stop everyone else from getting into the pit, will be good enough for Team SMG because they will have the numbers advantage coming into the pit. But they didn't. They just couldn't stop the push, and A Celeste to control. We were talking about map control. That's what they got. I mean, they didn't have the guns, but they had the map control, and it was enough.
You've got a point there, Marquis. I mean, Fixkey, I believe that she thought or she had faith that she could take those duels. But we're talking about Alter Ego Celeste here. Even with Sheriffs, they are just that sharpened. Even at that range, it's a little bit more difficult to go up against that. And once you give them that little inch, they take the mile. They have full control over the map, over the site. And it's always that one lurker again, but here it comes. Alter Ego Celeste just fiery going in for it. Hunter's Fury, though, from Fixkey now. Redemption. Straight into the beam, and she finds her opposing counterpart, but now Neri's on site and she is online, operator in hand, and she's able to lock out so many angles. Oh, a little bit 1 second late, but doesn't matter. Her teammates are still there, back her up. SMG tries to close in the distance, and Kohaimi will be able to find one, but no, the tour de force and the operator at a simultaneous time. It's 13-5 again. Alter Ego Celeste close out the first map in fashion.
It's just the same scoreline, 13-5. We saw it in the previous game, the previous series. This is SMG's map pick. In the same way that Zolmaraki's map pick, they lost 5-13 to Breeze, and a little bit of a Breeze curse going on here. But A Celeste looking really good today. In fact, even better than yesterday, I would say.
You might say that. They really showed up. I mean, all of these girls, you can bet they're going to be tweeting pretty soon about how well they played. I mean, it's just so unfortunate. I'm kind of upset, but I'm also smiling just because it's a masterclass of how well they play Breeze. I mean, all of these different positions, the way they execute on attack, they did not leave anything up to chance. And on the other hand, it's just a little bit unfortunate for Team SMG. Even with 2 timeouts being called, they weren't able to fix some of these, I don't know, issues. But there it is, Alter Ego Celeste, the 2 top fraggers, a Yumi with 21, and Aureophilia on the 17.
Yeah, I think Aureophilia also brought more than just the frags to the table. Her control over the site just made it almost impossible for SMG to really get into that site. When she was just so disruptive. Yumi as well. Yumi, of course, we know her as a duelist. Most of the time on that jet, whenever Inari's on the Rays, potentially. But on that chamber, she looked really good as well.
Yeah, it's there's so much at stake and there's so much value that they all provide. The recon bolts, even with Aneri and Napsky at the bottom of the scoreboard, they were still doing things. And the same could be said for Envious and Kohibi as well. But it's just a little bit unfortunate that Alter Ego Celeste were a little bit tighter in terms of coordination, a little bit more controlled, a little bit more sharp. I mean, with the aggressive duels that they took towards the middle, they won so many of them.
Yeah, they just took control over the game. Even after 2 pistol rounds being won by Team SMG, Alter Ego Celeste surpassed the statistics, right? Like, the pistol rounds supposed to grant you the wins, but no. I mean, we're gonna see the highlights real quick right now because actually it's probably mostly gonna be an Alter Ego Celeste highlights because they've been pretty insane, some of the frags. And up on this board we're gonna see, okay, a little bit of K for Daddy. This is a 1v3 for her, but she doesn't get the kill here. I think this kind of started that snowball for Alter Ego Celeste. Kohibi, K for Daddy rather, had a really good start, but just couldn't stop Alter Ego Celeste. Ayumi with the tour de force here was able to get 3 kills before even having to rendezvous away. So the Opper, typically you wanna force them out after 1 kill, but she was able to get 3 before she needed to teleport. And just AE Celeste running on all cylinders. Iceberg getting kills from the Hunter Sphere. Nebsky, even as the Sky, locking the site down. They're just too good this game.
You definitely see it. I mean, Ayumi, Aneri, we know how sharp they are. The sheer presence of those operators does so much. And on the other hand, Oreophilia was just so sneaky all these times, hiding inside of corners that unfortunately just weren't really checked. So 13-5 now, Marquis. And we're going into our next map, Haven. I don't know what to think.
I'm not sure either, because Haven is kind of like a favorite map for both teams. And the fact that AE Celeste picked Haven, it means Team SMG get to choose their side. The thing about what's interesting is this matchup is that a map pick isn't necessarily a guaranteed win for the team picking the map, because it's come to the point where it depends on which side they start. And I think that's going to be interesting coming to Game 2. But before Game 2, we are going to go for a quick break because both teams need a quick break as well. Casters need a... We're just going to be right back real quick for Game 2 between Team SMG and AE Celeste.
on and get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype.
Hello and welcome back, folks, to the VCT Game Changers APAC Day 3. We are in the upper bracket finals, and that was, quite honestly, a harrowing loss on Breeze. 13-5, and 10 of those rounds were won straight in a row by Alter Ego Celeste. We are your casters. Hey, I'm Quack. This is KeyCast, and our next map is going to be Haven.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting map because I think that both teams kind of like this map. And because of that, I'm quite interested in how this is going to go. It seems like Team SMG have chosen defense. So that's interesting for what is considered an attack-sided map. And you know what? We'll see how they work this out because they look better on the defense side on Breeze. And we'll have to see if that's going to be the same case here on the Haven. But Alter Ego Celeste, they've been looking pretty strong.
Defense. You must have some kind of a plan if you start to play out on defense. Or maybe you're looking to default out, but Alter Ego Celeste, after such a dominating performance on Breeze, after just playing insanely well against Orangutan Esports on Haven. I mean, they've been picking this map quite a bit now. I'm starting to think that this new-ish roster of Alter Ego Celeste with the addition of Navsky, Haven is starting to become one of their favorite maps. Not just one of their strong maps, but their favorite maps. And if they keep on picking it, they're going to have their way with it. And I think teams are going to have to start looking out for a way to counter them here. Team SMG, I don't know what they can do. Perhaps you could tell me.
I'm scared for the Haven being a Celeste map pick, and the reason why is because a lot of teams seem to be strong in Haven. It used to be the safe haven against Alter Ego Celeste because we've seen other teams be strong in it, like Galaxy Racer. The Philippine teams are particularly strong on Haven. We saw SMG kind of have Haven as their secondary map pick, but now that Celeste are kind of like saying, hey, Haven's their map pick now, what do other teams have against them? Split? No? Breeze? Clearly not. Fracture, only a few teams have really practiced Fracture. So Celeste, they look really strong right now. But SMG, they're no slouches on Haven either. So let's see if they can actually make a difference here.
I really hope that they can, but, well, hopefully some of these agent picks, agent compositions will inspire some confidence in us. Because, again, new patch, we don't see any Euros ever still. But, of course, at the very least now, Omen's getting picked up. And, okay. They did this, I think, yesterday, and they're doing it again. I know you have some opinions on this. Kohibi on Cypher. What do you think?
I am not sure what to think. It worked out for them yesterday. We know Envious is sort of like a Jet, almost one trick at this point. Strangely enough, for Alter Ego Celeste, it looks like Ineri has turned into just Jet, and Ayumi is the flex. And Ayumi and Kohibi kind of are evolving to this type of player that fills a flex role. And
Yeah.
those are hallmarks of great players, by the way. Don't get me wrong. It's not like they're stepping down or what or giving way. But as the game evolves, the needs of teams, the game kind of like trends towards a specific direction. And right now, it's a single duelist. We've seen a lot of double duelist lineups in early stages of VCT game changers. We always see a variation of a Jet Raze, Jet Reyna. We don't really see the Neon or the Yoru, like you mentioned. Yoru doesn't even make it in many different leagues. Neon is kind of like a pick sometimes on maps like Split. And I actually think Yoru might be good in Split. We might see some teams run the Yoru in Split, but Haven, definitely not. And Neon is also not that great on Haven. So I feel like this... I'm not sure about the Cypher pick, but SMG starting on defense, picking the Cypher on Haven, trying to get as many rounds as they can on attack side of map, might be their game plan, right?
Possibly, I suppose. Again, at least this was my thought process. With the coach that they have, Fel, the experience that he had from playing in the previous Team SMG roster, they did have a teammate who would perform incredibly well on this Cypher, and they would have just such strong setups, especially around A long, A short, the tripwires, the cyber cages, the way they use those to play around with information and truly just trap their opponents. It's something that could work. Is it something that Kohibi excels at, though? I'm not entirely sure, because this is a player who just really knows how to entry frag, really knows how to take space and find duels in such a fashion where she just absolutely carries the entire team. We saw this last year in FSL Elite when she played Raze on Split. I'm not sure.
Just Split,
Yeah.
Haven as well. Like the way we saw it was they seemed like an attack-sided team, and the identity is changing. Of course, they've changed some players. They've changed. They have a new coach. The identity is changing in that sense. I think I distinctly remember watching some SMG games when they were still Renatus White. Whenever they enter a site, it's Kohibi satcheling in, Envious holding down the fort as Kohibi just holds W and decimates the opponents. Now it's a little bit different. Like they chose to start in defense. Kohibi is on a Cypher instead of a Raze. So a little bit of a difference here. What I'm actually surprised about, and I wanted to say this on Ascent in Bren versus Zol, was that Astra was picked. And same here. Oriophila is on that Astra, and I'm just not sure what to feel about this agent. Still pretty good in the right hands, but definitely gutted.
Definitely. Not as strong as she was before, but I think it's a balance that needed to be implemented. So a little bit less presence across the map, but you still have the ability to place stars globally. You still have 4 of them, maybe not 5, and it still can be pretty effective. But again, just coming down to that attacking side, Alter Ego Celeste, they just walk right in. Are you kidding me? They broke down the doors, and K tries, but only is able to find a double. Yoki thankfully finds one as well, and that brings us to an even 2v2. However, Alter Ego Celeste carries the spike all the way through, and now getting it planted on C. SMG can't hear this, but this was a problem that wasn't really addressed from Breeze. Will they be able to find those lurkers?
Yeah, and they won pistol rounds so far. 100% win rate, although it doesn't win them the game. Can they find the rest of A Celeste here? Oh, there's the paranoia coming out, and Neri has... Oh, they don't check their corners, and because of that, they lose their round. And Neri doesn't get the A's, but Yoki does not check logs.
Even if they didn't find an Neri, I don't know if they would have been able to find Nabsky, who was all the way towards the back near defender spawn. That's a spot that you really wouldn't expect your opponents to be in, especially as you're a defender who's been rotating through. And that is just something that Alter Ego Celeste are so darn good at.
Yeah, I think Envious might have seen an area there. She was actually swinging in that direction, but kind of saw her teammate and like, yeah, it's probably safe. Like kind of like a mismatch there. Oh, but it's like going to be an A execute for A Celeste. They're just running into the site right now. They do have the Spectres. They're watching the flanks. Fixkey does a little bit of damage. Yoki takes one down as well. Envious gets a little bit curious here. Wants to push up the smoke, but changes her mind. Ayumi still watching the flank here. Kohibi and Envious. Dynamic duo for Team SMG. Just holding this. Waiting for someone to push out onto sewers, but no one is moving an inch. There we go. Ayumi might get spotted here. Oh no, Ayumi spots her first instead. Envious gets taken down though as that trap pops. The slow comes out. All down to K4Daiti, who bought a shorty instead of some headhunter bullets.
Not sure how effective this can be. They're gonna have to exit the site in order for this shorty to come up huge, and even then it's only possibly good for one frag. So damage is not good. Maybe try to sneak the ninja, but she definitely doesn't have time at this point, so just dying to the spike. It's a standard win for Alter Ego Celeste now. That flawless pistol win percentage, today at the very least, has been broken, Marky.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on at pistol round. I think the smoke. They
It's an
didn't
interesting
expect.
setup.
A gift.
Yeah, Inari pushing in to B.
Here.
Did not expect.
That works.
Was not expected because the smoke came out. I think K4Daiti was supposed to be watching from the other side, and Inari just held W and swung all the way to A link. Immediately took two players out, and that just dismantled Team SMG.
Get out of my way!
I think it's an interesting setup that SMG are trying to go for. Certainly something that they have practiced, but maybe it just wasn't really the right call for whatever Alter Ego Celeste threw at them. And here it comes now, and Neri off of those frags. She's got the Blade Storm, and this is something that she does. Again, just floating into the site, stinging like a bee. It's no problem. SMG make the slow rotation over just because this was too fast of a take. And now the post-plant positions all the way towards Dragon, all the way towards C Long, C Cubby, outside of Garage. How can you possibly re-execute into the site?
Yeah, and Envious pushing up alone as well, which I don't like.
Oh my
But
goodness.
she actually finds Snapsky. This might just be what they need as she shoots a few bullets in, takes Inari down
Timing.
a little bit low, but the time is ticking. Someone needs to get on that spike, and Envious is going to try to put through that smoke. Yoki gets one kill. I don't think anyone's on the spike though,
Oh,
and they're going to have to
no.
abandon this. The spike is going to explode. They take Fixkey down as well with the spike. Look at her at the edge of that explosion, and Team SMG could not even get their first buy round.
That is just so unfortunate. Even with a spike kill as well. I mean, they tried, and Envious found some frags, but they certainly weren't expecting that push to be so fast. The initial frag from Inari covered up so much space. And on the other hand, if Yoki perhaps had one more dark cover, she could have sent one towards C Long, and maybe Envious could just buy enough time to distract them long enough for someone to stick onto the spike defuse. But unfortunately, this is what we have, and here it goes. Inari still on a Spectre, just going in with a tear. Napsky comes in to find and trade it up, and then the dark cover comes up. Look at how deep this one goes, though. Is it a right call? I'm not entirely sure, but at the very least, they're holding on the other side of that thing. They've picked up a weapon, and that certainly could aid them in the long run.
TK4Daiti on the flank. Ooh! Gets a turnaround kill! Does not get a second one though, but Yoki takes Nabsky down, and it's down to an even 2v2. Team SMG are even healthier as well, as Ayumi only has 40 HP to her name. One bullet from a Vandal will take her down as they go for the C.
Standing ahead.
We saw this in the first round. Again, it's a similar approach, except for this time, Alter Ego Celeste are positioned towards C Long. It's all going to come down to the precise timing of the peaks.
This might be where Team
enemy
SMG
remaining.
find her, but Ayumi
Enemy
finds the
remaining.
heads instead. Yoki's gonna get stunned, but Iceberg did not know that. Actually, takes his time to flash, walk away. It looks in the wrong direction. Checks the corners, but
Time.
Iceberg has already snuck away. Time is ticking, and Iceberg is just patiently hiding behind the box. Yoki is not going to be able to find her. He's going to take that tap, but Iceberg swings at the most opportune timing. And AE Celeste, dominant start from them. SMG, though, that was an eco for them, but they got 4, so a little bit of promise there. but they really need to brush up their defenses because you don't want to just keep conceding rounds to an opening kill from an Neri.
That's a good spot.
There's a little bit of defenses, but it's also just Alter Ego Celeste. My goodness. The quick mid-round adaptation to rotate over. The way that they send 3 players in just to take out Kfredidi. She might have gotten the first one, but this is what Alter Ego Celeste do. They find trades so effectively. Anytime one player falls, they come back into the game. And 4-0 right now, they're playing chess while Team SMG are playing checkers. The defense, they're trying to set up for those positions, possibly setting up for a peek. But right now, Alter Ego Celeste just walks right into it. 1 frag to start things off now, and they stand a better chance at winning out a round.
Just look too scary still. Like, you see Alter Ego Celeste, they're not phased by losing 1 player. They're already trying to just look for ways for them to actually break down these defenses. Yoki
Interesting.
fakes a teleport. I'm not sure what that was supposed to do. She fakes a little bit of the teleport there. They might just go C again.
Oh, they're creeping up front. Kate is still hiding. Recon Bolt does not find her. In fact, a counter recon goes out. And here comes the peaks. Does not connect. And she has to land some shots in order to stop them from pushing through. And Neri still alive. Does find one. K trades back. And all that's left is Iceberg. How is she behind them, though? Finds Kfredidi. A second headshot now. Sends out the fault line, but thankfully Kohibi is here to clean it up. 1-4. Off the initial frag, SMG finally take 1 win in this first half.
Yeah, it took a while, but they finally found their footing. Right now, though, the economy is not great for them. I think they can afford a 4 out of 5 buy. Kfredidi has the tour de force. But Fixkey gonna have to get a gun from Envious, and while they won that round, their economy is not great. And we're just gonna have to see whether they can carry over this, because you're gonna need to string 2 rounds in a row to start, building something up. But if they lose this, Celeste immediately reset them, and that doesn't spell victory for Team SMG. But we'll have to see right now, as Celeste used the Rolling Thunder to get into the site. Iceberg wanted to use it the previous round, but she got deleted right after that. So they're able to use it this round. They're able to get into the A site, notoriously the hardest site to retake. Let's see if SMG have it in them to retake this.
I think I heard an operator as well, however. Envious must have done something, and in towards mid window, she created a little bit of presence, but unfortunately it doesn't do much. And now the Hunter's Fury just to buy a little bit more time. SMG cannot get a foot onto site. They cannot walk past this threshold just because the hold is too darn good. Look at all of these flashes. Look at all the utility that's being sent out. Team SMG want to walk through, but they can't. The double spray. Are you kidding me? Kfredidi gets 1, but unfortunately that's all that she can hope for. Kohibi from the top now tries to find a little bit more, but the timer is still ticking. Yet another kill, but at this point, 10 seconds remaining. You cannot defuse anymore. And Neri now locked in a duel against her. Kohibi wins, but does not get to save her gun. Round loss bonus comes in, but still is going to be Alter Ego Celeste with the 5th win now.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was saying. If SMG lose that round, they get reset, and the economy is just terrible for them. This double kill by Nabsky, getting that double headshot, absolutely disgusting. Kohibi showing signs of life finally here, but it just wasn't enough. It's a little bit too little too late right now, as Alter Ego Celeste are starting to run away with this game.
Oh my goodness, you try to build a little bit of momentum, but in towards the next round, and you just lose it, and that cannot feel good. This timeout is a necessity, even from the previous map as well. 10 losses in a row. Sometimes, maybe you don't even have to sit down to talk about strats. Sometimes just taking a breather is what they really need.
Yeah, exactly. And whether this breather can do anything, I'm starting to lose hope right now, because Celeste, you can see their attacks. Like, I thought Haven was an SMG map. But right now it feels like Celeste have really prepared for this map. The executes with the Astra and Neri just pushing forward. Iceberg or sometimes Snabsky with a flank, a double initiator as well. Silver plus breach. This breach is paying in dividends, by the way.
Yes. Honest. Now that you mention it, feels reminiscent of some other region, some other top players plays as well. Particular Korean player, but here it comes. My goodness, the execution is so fast. They're already walking in. They're already landing all the flicks. Yoki finds and enters back just for a bit, but not before the trades fall through. All that's left is Envious, and she's towards the back of Garage. Still a spot that they could very well expect. She does get the first headshot, but not before Navsky comes in from the window. 6-1. And it's just so much value coming out of each and every single one of these Alter Ego Celeste players.
Yeah, they're just finding all the kills. I like to mention as well that look, I was gonna point this moment out. Ineri hiding in the smoke immediately gets a ping from the recon from Ayumi. We saw that so many times. Even on Breeze through a Viper wall, the information for Ayumi, her timing, her support for Ineri to find all of these kills. This has happened so many times. And wait, this round looks like an exact mirror of the previous round. But this time around, SMG do have the guns, and Ineri a little bit of paranoia. Oh my god, it doesn't matter as she takes K490 down. Yoki is stuck between a rock and a hard place, gets one kill, also gets a second, and Envious is gonna take one more down. SMG showing signs of life, but 2v2 right now as Alter Ego. They take control over the spike. The wall is gonna go down though. So do they feel confident planting the spike? As it's actually a teleport away from Nabsky.
Okay, at the very least, SMG can possibly retrieve some weapons. They need to make a fast move, but now just peeking for information. Kohibi tries to whittle Yumi down. She does get her to 60. Then where do the rotations go? Of course, it's all the way across the map, and it's going to take SMG about 5 or 7 seconds just to catch up. It's going to be a little bit way too much now. If the post-plant position set up. Oh no, Marquis. I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, I agree with you. And something that I've seen Nabsky has been doing is that whenever she uses Rendezvous, she pulls it out right away, just so it comes back off cooldown and she can put it wherever she wants to right away. The shock dart, like, wait! They see her leg, and Kohibi just shoots through the boxes. Nice retake from Team SMG, as it didn't look very hopeful for them, but Kohibi makes it happen.
Star power, a little foot, and you find the wallbang headshot. And not just that, game sense to kind of anticipate where the second player would be positioned. The crosshair placement netted her the second headshot. This is what dreams are made of. And here they come back into the game, a second round win. Let's see if they can do even more.
Yeah, I wonder if does Sova actually become wider as he pulls the bow?
Oh, because his stance changes.
It looked like he was stancing to like shoot out the bow, and the foot kind of stuck out because of that. I'm not sure.
Possibly. But still, nonetheless, a great play by Kohibi. Once more, however, Alter Ego Celeste. Look at how fast they already are in towards A long. I love what Envious is doing towards the back of window, though. Take a look at that.
Yeah, she's already starting to flank forward, but there are traps that should reveal her position unless she uses the cloud burst to get more info. Oh, it actually misses Fixkey. That might give them a false sense of security, but she only gets one. I think she could have hoped for 2 to 3 there if she had a better a Phantom maybe, but the Vandal spray transfer is just a little bit too difficult.
Oh, Envious.
SMG. Yeah, Envious is pushing forward already, and there's the from the shadows as well. Iceberg. Oh my god, Yoki just gets taken down though. They're not gonna expect a second flank, but Oreophilia is ready for that. Gonna take them all down as Oreophilia gets a triple kill. Celeste are leading 5 rounds in a row right now.
Oh my goodness. There was a chance. They had so many things possibly lending them a bit of an advantage, but SMG still unable to convert them into wins. The Rolling Thunder not connecting onto Fixky was one of them. And then Envious with the flank as well. Not quite sure if the From the Shadows from Yoki teleporting in towards Long was the best call, because maybe you don't really expect a second flank, but it still gives up a little something.
Yeah,
and now
I
off of
thought
it,
it was telegraphed off of that.
right? It's an eco now. It's 2-7. We're going into round 10. Alter Ego Celeste, they know they have the momentum. They know they have the advantage. And look at how confident they are, just strutting onto site.
I mean, they've been doing this even against buy rounds, so it just feels like they just know what they want to do. And his enemy's gonna check the corner over there. No, she doesn't. As Ayumi takes her down, it looks to be a clean round for Alter Ego Celeste. Oh no! Kohibi has something to say about that. Even jumps down real quickly, but Navsky is getting a triple kill off her own. And Alter Ego Celeste are building a huge lead.
It's... In the previous map, we called it a mountain. At this point, maybe you start calling it Everest. Because this looks near impossible to climb. Way too many rounds. Maybe not in a row, but I cannot imagine how it feels to be on SMG's comms right now. They're trying. They certainly are. Envious pulling out the operator again. This time, locking down A long instead of pushing out the middle. But all the extra utility, though. Look at that.
I like this. They get a first kill. They actually stack 3 on A. They have
Cyber Cage.
identified what was so difficult for them against Alter Ego Celeste. And Envious getting the first kill. K for them. Oh my lord! Navsky, what was that flick? Kohibi whiffs a little bit as well. There's a hunter strike on Fixky. Evens things out a little bit. But man, Alter Ego Celeste are making it so hard for Team SMG. They already have control over the B side, but the spike is just not there yet.
I like Yoki's position. She has to make full use of it, and she will. Strikes while the iron is hot, she gets one. Looks for the second. Doesn't quite know where the spike is, but you can certainly affirm that it's either B or C. SMG just anchoring down A long. I believe they can start making some rotations over, and there it is. They found an Airy. Where's the last player? Towards the back of C side. Ayumi, still deadly. Finds the first headshot now and gets the spike planted. It's a 1v2 SMG. They need to coordinate and work together to win this one out.
So not used to seeing Ayumi on like Sova or the KO.
Agreed.
Or it's just so different. She has no. Unlucky jump from her. It's just the timing of things. Like if she jumped a little bit later while Fixky was looking away, or a little bit earlier, might have been able to get it. Well, okay, well, you see, Team SMG are still kind of enjoying themselves. And
That's nice.
Shaking her head. Yeah, for sure. They're still shooting at each other. They're still getting along. So that's nice to see. But hey, Celeste, like, hey, I'm gonna ask you this question. If you're A Celeste, you're A3 right now. Do you want to win the next round? Do you believe in curses?
I don't believe in curses. I'm not superstitious. So take whatever round you can get. I mean, don't throw. Nobody wants to see people throwing. Just try whatever you can do. And if you're SMG, lovely team activities such as that, they are good for morale.
Yeah, you can see her shaking her head. Like, they must have
paranoia.
she had rhythm there.
Oh, there was definitely a little bit of rhythm, but Paranoia getting sent out into its C-Long now. That thing just connected onto its so many players. Definitely stalled them for a bit, but do they expect the peaks now?
What?
Oh my god, an Airy! What was that? How did she find that head? It wasn't even really a headshot, but she's still connected onto it. They found Yoki up top as well. It's an even trade, not really, because Alter Ego Celeste are still on top. They've got the numbers advantage. Cosmic Divine now, they got the spike down. Oh my goodness, I don't know how to retake for this.
Yeah, that was just really disgusting. It's the long plan as well. This is probably the most difficult retakes because you're gonna have to clear long, and they can be hidden either in the cubby, on the right side, on the left side. It's just too many things to take care of. They even have the Hunter's Fury. She's gonna tag a little bit of teammates. Fixie is gonna take one down. She has a shock dart. She should be using this to clear that cubby, but she's not. Oh, they actually get half the defuse on. We still have 3 members alive.
Last
Okay,
player
Kohibe's gonna get one, get 2. They're gonna get the
Oh!
defuse. What is going on?
Kohibe swings out, and she even
side.
body blocks just a little bit for Envious to stick the diffuse long enough. That worked out beautifully.
That was amazing. I mean, we've been waiting for this moment, right? SMG finally getting the rounds. They finally get 4. On defense, I would say that's pretty decent, especially on Haven. But don't forget, they only have 1 duelist. Kohibe is not playing a Sky, pseudo duelist. Kohibe is not. She's on Cypher.
Cypher.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the thing. I'm gonna put a theory here. Cypher is great because he actually stops flanks from happening, and Haven is one of the easiest maps to flank on. Like there's 3 sites, so in the same way that 3 sites is helpful for the attackers because they have so many choices, there's also so many ways for the defenders to actually flank and push forward. So this Cypher might just help with that. And let's see if Team SMG have it in them on this attacking side. Envious starting to show signs of life as well. Kohibe, we're starting to see her frags as well. On that last round, she was spectacular. So Team SMG, they're gonna have to step up a little bit, but we're starting to see them. They strung 2 rounds in a row now, and that's more than I can say for Team SMG for the past map.
I like it. I like it. I see your theory, but I want to raise you a counter argument. Sure, these traps can be good. The tripwires are amazing. Of course, you definitely want to block off flanks, especially against a team like Alter Ego Celeste, who love and know how to push out.
Yeah.
But is Kohibe really the best player to delegate that role to, though? Is Kohibe really the person that you want to be sentineling? I don't know.
I'm not sure either, but I mean, just because your best player doesn't have to be a duelist, right? I think that's
true.
what we've
That's
started
true.
seeing that from various teams. We've seen Chronicle, we've seen Nats become the star player. Gambit. I mean, not even talking about their duelist, who's also really good, but the best players can play multiple roles, and I think we've seen
That's
that.
true.
I mean, you talked about I believe you were alluding to Korea when it came to Breach.
Yes.
As well. I mean, you could say that. No need to be shy, but we're seeing the best players also play the initiators, and it can work out. But right now, SMG really need more than just that. Let's see if they can do it on attack.
We shall see. I certainly hope to see more. Kohibe stepping up to the plate in that final moment of the last round in that half. A triple kill. Abigail Kong, and she is alive. 4-8. It's not a curse. I don't believe in curses, but I want to believe in Team SMG. 3 seconds now, and on the attack, they will go straight into a site.
My eyes are down. Some information coming in because Kohibe put the camera down and had to be shot out. Already pushed forward on short, but the defenses are fast from Alter Ego Celeste. There's already 3 members on the A site, and as hard as it is to retake A, it's also hard to take the A site, especially when there's 3 members already on the site waiting for you. And Namsky is gonna take one down. Yoki takes one, and Neri for the trade as well. It's gonna be a 3-for-3 right now. 2v2. Fixky pushing up forward. They should know where she is. Oh, they shoot the corner, but she wasn't deep in the corner. A great play from Fixky there because she reloaded in the corner. She knew that she couldn't hide in the corner. That pre-fire was almost her death, but Yoki and Fixky, the 2 Thai players from Team SMG,
that was
dynamic
really-
duo for them.
Sent out the paranoia, but doesn't hit on towards anything. In fact,
player
Oriofile just
standing.
sidestepped it, but here comes Yoki. Flicks on towards Iceberg. It's 2v1. They will get this. It's Fixky that closes it out, and SMG picks back up the pistol round. This 5-8 is looking to shape up to be even more.
Hey, I'm gonna say they've reached a checkpoint on Mount Everest. It seems like they're able to climb the mountain. It was 6 rounds, and now we're looking at 3.
I like it. I like it. You've reached the checkpoint. What's next on the list? You gotta rest up a little bit. And of
Yeah,
course,
This is hopefully their rest round because they have the big guns.
they should. They should. I'm scared of the sheriffs. We see how painful those could be. They're pushing into middle, but there is a player lurking behind them.
Oh, but that
Oh my
player has
goodness.
been taken down.
No
It's
way.
Nevsky. Yeah, but K490 did not have a gun. There's another player waiting there.
Okay,
Fixky
Fixky.
in that corner. Will she able to take Mary down? Who doesn't check her corners? Almost
Oh my
flicks a
God.
bit too fast. Tries to get a second kill, but Nabsky is being
Seven rounds.
pesky as usual. Jumps away.
Okay.
Oh, it's a fake.
They've got to focus their attention back towards spawn now.
Oh,
Of course, though, they will be able to get it at close range. It's going to be where the Spectre rules. One player towards the top of heaven, one coming possibly from the back. Well, no, not anymore. It's just a Yumi in heaven right now. Making a little bit of noise. I think they should be able to find her out. And as she drops down, Yoki just peppers her full of holes. It's 6-8, just as predicted. Standard wins. SMG have recovered. Let's see if they can do a little bit more now.
It's Fixky really holding the flank here. Unfortunately for K490, she got headhunted by her counterpart. And Team SMG have strong 4 rounds in a row. That's actually pretty impressive, especially considering against Alter Ego Celeste. But right now, AE have the Vandals. They have the Phantoms. Can SMG break this defense?
Oh, wow. Not just the Vandals and all the utility. They're throwing it out. They're stunned the players. Kohibi was lagged behind. And with an Airy pushed up front, plus Napsky just eyeing down this one long angle, it's a lot of support. Owl Drone does get a little bit more information as well. And now it's just SMG. They've got to recalibrate, rethink their strats. I don't know if you want to continue pushing down A. And although Garage is a nice spot, this smoke is a little bit of a double-edged sword. Napsky hiding inside of it, not peeking out. She could have gotten a little bit more. They string back in towards the B site.
B might be the best spot for Team SMG right now, because if they play it well, they can actually play the close corners as they do find the first kill. Inari gets taken down, but Yoki is not able to go there for the trade. Okay, Fredite actually swings up for the trade. 3v3 right now. Yoki is pushing up her own smoke. Might be able to find a kill here as Oreophilia gets taken down, and Alter Ego Celeste have been ecoed. They got bonus, and that's 3 upgrades for Team SMG. They're about to reach the next checkpoint, which is tying Alter Ego Celeste.
Amazing. Whoever is the IGL, whoever is making the call, or maybe it's Alex giving them the right advice during the timeouts. They've cracked it. That was a perfect read. Initial losses, sure, but they still managed to recover and figure out that, all right, let's not head in towards A.
Uh-oh.
We had a little bit of presence in towards Garage. Let's head towards B instead. This time around, however, what's happening?
I saw 2 Buckies on the side of Alter Ego Celeste. It's an A stack for them, but it's going to be a wrong read. Now, unless Team SMG suddenly decide, oh yeah, we're going A, I think these Buckies will be extremely ineffective.
They're pushing out as well, though. It's just an Airy. You've got Iceberg and all, etc. A little bit of a friendly paranoia, but still, they managed to get this site cracked open. Spike needs to be planted really soon, however. And they still managed to hold it down for now. A Yumi, though, getting a little bit curious. Walking in towards the smoke, she gets tagged. And of course, though, the Sheriff's still sharp. It's a couple of kills, but thankfully, Yoki is there to trade it out. Oreophilia, last one left. 5 HP.
Oh!
Shocked her from nowhere. Was that a lineup? Fixky!
No, but how can it be a lineup? She wasn't even in an expected spot. I think Fixky
Just
yeeted
randomly
an arrow. And they know they're 5 HP. Someone probably called that because
True.
I hit her 145, but probably someone with a Phantom hit that
It's like,
headshot.
where?
And then yeah, somewhere in C Link, and then
like, okay.
shock dart comes in.
Shock dart.
Fixky with a shock dart kill, and this is the next checkpoint that we're talking about, right? It's a tie game now.
Awesome. But of course, checkpoints are good, but they're just that, checkpoints. You might have made it to the summit. Can you reach the top? Alter Ego Celeste have the full buy now. They have the ultimates, and it's Natsuki Ayumi. Double kills, triple kills, and there he comes in as well. All of a sudden, in the split second, Every single player just died. 9 to 8s. What's just happened, Marquis?
I blinked and then they were all dead. That looked like a 3-second round. Navsky and Ineri just swinging out there, decimating that A push. I think it's going to discourage SMG from going to A yet again. Let's watch it.
Okay.
Get the first kill. Immediately, Ineri, Navsky gets a second with a quick peek. Ayumi gets one, and Ineri, the double peek on A. This time, the gamble from AE Celeste to stack 3 on A paid off. And this time, look, it's an A sacrifice. They're like, SMG's gonna not gonna try that again, are they? But
go try it again, please. Oh my god. We might have seen Forsaken aces, but that round, I'm speechless.
SMG, it looked like they're going on a default right now, and actually A side is completely free. There's nothing to detect anyone going on A, but they don't know that.
They're getting red so hard. So they try to walk back in towards B. Envious gets taken out. This is problematic now for Team SMG. Oh no.
Yeah, red indeed, and there's a star in front of B as well, and there's some information gonna come out from the recon vault. Navsky might
trademark too. Oh, saw the
smoke. No, the smoke covered. Navsky actually wasn't able to spot her out. Iceberg. Oh, I think she might push out of this. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Great use of the shrouded step. Oh, there's a Hunter's Fury coming out as well from the defense. It's gonna take Fixky down though as Yoki opens up the C site, even things out. Oh, it does not get the third though. Iceberg almost fallen there, but there's the stun coming out. Kohibi is still gonna stick to plant. There's the dark cover coming out as well. And Neri, that's not gonna deter her though. In fact, it just gives her a little bit more space. There's the updraft. Misses Kohibi, flicks onto her head. Ayumi makes it a trade though. 2v2 right now. The spike is not planted for long. And they're gonna have to stop this because they take one down. They're gonna both swing. SMG even things out yet again.
Oh my god. This is getting intense. The shrouded step from Yoki might have just saved her. Might have just saved the team from whatever Ineri was about to throw at them. And at the same time, moving in towards C long, they managed to find favorable angles. Somehow, despite losing initially towards B, they managed to make the right call and recover as they approached in towards the C site.
Yeah, Yoki really showing up for this map. Look at her 21 frags right now. The rest of SMG though, kind of like around the 12 kill mark. They're running on all cylinders right now, and they need that against Alter Ego Celeste, who are showing signs of weakness right now as SMG are starting to string these rounds together.
Slowly but surely. Just take your time. Alter Ego Celeste are kind of trying to find different ways to defend now. They're sort of stacking up towards C after that previous loss, and that leaves B and A slightly weakened. Of course, at the same time, there is a rendezvous, but this signals to SMG to push in towards the B site, completely negating the trademark. A little bit of a fault line does stop them for the time being, but they are still on site, able to get the spike planted. And now what they need to do is to hold down both A and C link, and they will. 3 kills in quick succession. They managed to get another though. No, that's Oreophilia from AE Celeste. Finds one trade. Now Yumi holding yet another angle. Dark cover a little bit too shallow. Allows for her to peek out, but thankfully holding the off angles. SMG clinch this one out. Sort of by a hair. 10-9. Now they're leading.
Now they're leading. That's what I wanted to point out. This is Alter Ego Celeste yet again getting a run for their money. It did not look very competitive on Breeze, but as I mentioned, SMG, they know how to play Haven as well. And we can see that right now as Alter Ego Celeste are on the back foot. And they have to eco.
I like that back foot. The fact that they're ecoing, I'm still scared. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to jinx nothing. But Alter Ego Celeste might just lose this round. Pulling out all the stops is Envious with the Blade Storm walking and shooting in towards sight. The Frenzy does not do anything. There is a bit of a flank, however, but that's being watched by Kay. She's got her trademarks, and the rest of them coming in through A-Link are blocked off by Paranoias as well. SMG should have this down pat.
And wouldn't count Alter Ego Celeste out just yet. Nemsky has been really sharp with this headhunter. She's crouching in that corner. K for Daiti. Will she able? No, she does not see the barrel. And she switches at the most misopportune time. But Kohaibi luckily is there. Unlucky for her. She switched from the Vandal to her tour de force. Bad timing from her, but SMG is still a 3v1 for them.
Thank goodness for teammates. And now Aureophilia, no option remaining, walks out front, and as soon as the smoke dissipates, drops to a bullet to the dome. And there it is, a lead.
And more than just one round this time around. They're almost at match point. Okay, for that, you're really unlucky there. But again, the rest of Team SMG, timeout from Team SMG, in fact, not from Alter Ego Celeste. I really want to close this out, and I think this is a great timeout for them because, you know, one thing that happens sometimes when you win multiple rounds in a row, you start having familiarities. There's patterns to your attack, and I think that this timeout is great because the coach is there to identify, hey, girls, you've been doing this thing over and over again. I think it's time to change something. This might be a change of pace, but you keep Alter Ego Celeste guessing because, you know, after a few rounds, you're like, hey, they really like pushing Garage. Why don't we double up Garage and get that kill? Just as an example. So this time around, is the coach giving them something different, something to approach? Or is this just to slow them down a little bit to ensure that they don't get careless? Because they've been streaking. Look at this. It's a, 7-1 in the second half? If you consider the 2 rounds they won before that, it's a 9-1 run for them to take this lead.
It's good. Maybe a little bit of both from the coach. Just shake it off. Get some carrot cake. Here's some with black sauce. And here's some with sauce from Inari. Oh my god, operator. That was a jump peek as well. The elevated angle somehow gave her a little bit more room. A little bit unfortunate. But you talked about those patterns, and SMG is looking to break them in towards the A site now. A site that they haven't really hit in the past 2 or 3 rounds. Certainly attempting to go up front though, and it might not be the right call. There are 2 players watching.
Yeah, let's see if they can make this work. And Neri is playing on short right now. They thought she was B. Oh, but it's actually a fake. The dark cover was just A cover from them. C side is open right now, and Yoki might just be able to get this jump in. Oh, she knows that the defenses have rotated. Immediately, her teammates are positioned in C long.
Wow.
Oh my god, she gets sprayed off. Oh, she can try to plant right now. Yes, there we go. She's planting a little bit safe. It's still planted for long. There's the Rolling Thunder coming out. There's the Cosmic Divide as well. Gonna cover a lot of ground. Oh, it's gonna cover them away from the spike. SMG are gonna be forced to push this. Kohaibi gets 1 kill. Okay, you need that neural theft. They're gonna know it's using. Oh no. Okay, they're pushed out of the spike. There's a Shock Dart coming out. There's a Hunter's Fury coming out as well. They're discouraging them to get off the spike right now. They need to buy a lot more time. Kohaibi gets 1 more kill. Oh, she gets a 3rd as well. Oh no! The defuse comes in.
Oh, wow.
Sneaky Inari is able to get the defuse anyway.
What on earth was that? Team SMG had so many things going right, but this is just Alter Ego Celeste. This is unbelievable. They counter-stratted their counter-strat. First of all, that shot was amazing. Second of all, Yoki made the right call. She teleported onto site from the shadows, even had the dark covers, the paranoia just to block it off, get the site planted. But all of a sudden, the retakes come in. Cosmic Divide, Rolling Thunder, fault lines, everything went right, and they managed to push them off into C long. And here comes the operator as well. Inari. Just so much value out of that 4,700 credit weapon.
Okay, for Daiti, even sings out. Yoki is stuck between a rock and a hard place. I think she still has one Shrouded Step. There's the drone pushing Inari away, and I think that should bring Yoki to safety. Still a lot of time for Team SMG. I'd like to say very different from what Zol Meraki was doing, where they just stood in the lobby of one site and just executed. We haven't seen these teams really run out of time, and A Celeste are trying to claw back that lead. They're trying to even things out. But SMG still has a little bit of steam, but who's gaining steam right now? And Neri is. And she might just get this kill onto Fixky as well.
Look at Kfreddy's position. Walks right in towards the back. All of a sudden in towards A-Link. And there's so much paranoia just from her position and presence alone. And Neri's still doing so much damage though. That's a triple kill now. And Ayumi with the off angle. Domes Kohibi. One player remains and they know where she is. The spike being dropped as well. Kfreddy needs to isolate and win out in these duels. She tries to clear the corners, gets the wallbang, goes in for the reload, and with 15 seconds left has no choice but to stick the defuse. Is susceptible to a wallbang now, but just Iceberg peeking from the other side. Oh my god.
This game is so close right now. SMG still have the economy to buy. I think they will have for the next 2 rounds anyway. But Inari's heroics and Kohibi missing that corner. If she just gets that corner, it would have been a 2v1. But Kfreddy tried her best to make things happen. I think maybe a fake would have been prudent there. Just gamble it. But she didn't know how close Iceberg was. She had no information whatsoever.
Absolutely. It's just really, really unfortunate. Alter Ego Celeste, a lot of tiny things just seemingly add up and give them this strange advantage that just comes out at the weirdest times. All of a sudden you have one last player that just the opposing team has zero information on. It's too good. 11-11 now, and anyone can take match points. And Neri with the flicks! An uncharacteristic whiff. Forced to tailwind off. And that gives SMG a little bit more information, a couple more options. Shooting down the trademark does signal a push in towards C, however.
Flicks are not supposed to be that accurate. Just Neri has been landing them. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily uncharacteristic. But she finally misses one. Oh, as Oreophilia sneaky into smoke. Kfreddy makes it an even 2 for 2 though. Napsky gets tagged down a little bit. There's a Hunter Fury coming out from the defenders. They're not going to find anything. The spike has not gone down just yet. She hits 2 though. So that's going to bring SMG down a little bit. And Neri trying to shoot the corners. SMG, okay.
Nice.
They get a kill. Looks really good for them right now. 3v2, but again, Inari with the hot hands. She's actually been absolutely amazing as Ayumi takes 2 down. 1 with a shock dart, 1 with a headshot. It's all down to Fixky right now. She gets spotted.
Oh my!
She gets 1, but Ayumi is gonna send it to match point.
Who is this girl? How does she do these things? First a KO in previous maps, sometimes a chamber, now a Sova. And she gets 2 simultaneous kills, 1 from a shock dart, 1 from a peek. It is also teamwork at the same time. Oreophilia, Spectre, 1.6k credits, and she does so much value as well. Inari going for an adventurous peek outside of the smoke just kind of confuses the Team SMG girls holding down that one angle. So unfortunate that Fixky had to go up against a 1v2 and they peaked at the same time. It's AE Celeste at match point.
They are in match point, but their buy is actually a little bit broken. They have 2 Bulldogs, which might just give Team SMG a little bit of an edge here. But the biggest edge that AE Celeste have is a streaking Inari. She's running right now with an operator. She's just not really getting punished here. And there's drones pass by each other. Inari peeks out a little bit and she gets taken down. Kohibi takes Inari down and it's starting to look dangerous for Alter Ego Celeste. Their star player is down. She's the one holding the fort down, but Team SMG have just taken that out.
There's 1 gas now. Let's see if we can make that 2. They dash straight in towards the B site, but here comes an aftershock just to deny the spike plant. They go in for the spray though, random ones through the smoke, and Envious Ref has given them a big advantage. All of a sudden, the site's a little bit more safe to plant into, and they're planting for mid as well. Envious towards the back of the site, on towards Gong. It's a running headshot. Oh my god.
Here.
One player left. And we could go into overtime. It's all up to Nevsky. And she's trying to shoot towards the top, but does find one more. It should be overtime, but I never quite know. Goes back in a little bit as well.
It's a 1v4 still. She doesn't even have the best of guns. As Fixky is going to be the one to send us to overtime. 12-12 right now. And wow, what a game this is delivering.
Overtime.
Oh my god, SMG. They've managed to claw their way back. They started off not looking too hot. Came back with a 4-8. And all of a sudden now we are 12-12. They have climbed Mount Everest, Marquis.
Now, this is another checkpoint. Like climbing Mount Everest implies that they win this map. This is the
Fair
third
enough.
checkpoint, which is basically overtime. They almost got it. There's just so many close rounds, but Alter Ego Celeste kept finding that defuse under their noses. The win from Iceberg and in K490 almost getting that 1v3 yet again. The clutch queen has just struggled to get that win for 1v3. So she's just so close, but just not enough because this is Alter Ego Celeste we're talking about.
And now they're back on the offense as well. Look at how aggressive they're going straight in towards A-Long. They've cleared out the corners. They've held on to take out Envious. K490 is sneaking up front though, but also getting eliminated. What? All of a sudden there are 2 players left because one on site got eliminated as well. The other sites are completely open and they recognize the fact. Oh my goodness, SMG are none the wiser, slowly rotating over. But I think that as soon as they do, that's also game over.
Yeah, it's well, it is a 2-round overtime win. SMG, they didn't do so well on the defense side, and we can see AE Celeste taking advantage of the round swap. You know, your mentality kind of like switches, and AE Celeste switched that gear much faster. Kohibi is in 1v5, unlikely for this to go anywhere as Nevsky gets a 4K here.
Switching sides.
This is just the first round of overtime, and we're already seeing a flawless win. You said they switch gears, really fast, and they certainly do. I mean, how long have they been thinking about these possible flanks that Team SMG would throw out against them? This was something that SMG did since the first half.
Yeah.
It's been a whole
12
other
rounds.
half, exactly, since then. And and AE Celeste have been thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm surprised SMG didn't call a timeout here, but their attacking side has been better. Look at AE Celeste though. 3-person push from the C long. SMG might not be ready for this. They see that the trap has been broken. They might just decide to go into A. I think that's a good decision.
They're going fast though.
Yeah, they're going fast. Envious already dashing to the side. They get that 1 kill. A is completely open. Are they ready for this triple flank though? K490 is gonna spot that. She's gonna spot 3 though. So they're gonna know where they're gonna come from.
Planted.
Okay, at the very least, it's a bit of information.
Oh, they're changing directions.
Take flight.
They're already all going on the spawn side. That's gonna be a 4-player execute coming from spawn. And SMG though, luckily they did not commit enough that many resources to watching the flank, and they still have the cipher traps there anyway. It's a great trade from them. Oh, they don't. Oh, they trade left and right. Alter Ego Celeste are just getting the kills, and such a heartbreak for Team SMG as Alter Ego Celeste secure the series.
Defenders win.
My heart is broken. I don't know if you heard that, but it shattered into a million pieces. That was unbelievable. Just the craziest retake. The sudden, quick decision to swap routes and go back into its A-Link. That was fine, right? SMG was still, relatively fine. They were dedicating resources towards A-Link. But all of a sudden, the Aftershock came out. They decided to go for a peek. Every single player from Alter Ego Celeste peeked out along with the Aftershock, kind of using that VFX for cover, and they managed to execute off of it. Each and every single player just breaking off into their own angles, and they just took down the entire site. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That game has definitely delivered, and of course we'd like to see, Ineri with 10 first bloods. So I was gonna talk about this. It's the opening frags that really gave Alter Ego Celeste the advantage. And it's not just Ineri, also Nabsky. That's 16 first bloods between those two. Meanwhile, SMG, you could count the total number of first bloods is only 8, less than Ineri's. And that just shows how aggressive Alter Ego Celeste were. SMG made it super close, but Alter Ego Celeste just had the upper hand.
It's I 10 first bloods, 6 first bloods, and they are just so cerebral about how they approach this game. SMG make the right calls, the best calls, but so did Alter Ego Celeste, and they still just come out on top. They somehow always have that one advantage, and it's they're still on their throne. They're still on their throne, still undefeated.
Yeah, it's really such a heartbreaker because we saw some of those rounds get really close. They were just ever so close. Like SMG, I think it was the 10th and 11th points that Alter Ego Celeste just snuck from under the noses. And we're of course gonna see the highlights again between these two teams because this match has been quite the highlight reel.
And I don't even know if these highlights can really do the highlight plays justice because they happen so quickly. But if you really rewind through the entire VOD, there's so much that you can talk about, so much that can be broken down and analyzed because both teams played just out of their minds in this series.
They absolutely did, but Alter Ego Celeste really just turned up the gear a notch towards the end. But look, even at the beginning, they were the ones who started hot. SMG figured it out on attack. They started figuring out towards the end of defense as well. This is the last round. Netco High B clutch. And then all of a sudden, yeah, SMG, they just woke up. They just started finding these skills. But Ineri also woke up. The beast. She was not doing so well on Breeze, but Haven was definitely on fire for her. Nabsky as well, showing up on this chamber. It was just absolutely insane for Alter Ego Celeste until SMG started figuring out the attacking side, was able to get these pushes in. And you know what? We're seeing so many highlights because there's so many rounds that players just showed up. But ultimately, Alter Ego Celeste showed that they are still the #1 team. So right now, they're sitting pretty in the grand finals. SMG go straight to the lower bracket finals. They are a top 3 team still. They have secured that top 3 placement. But we'll have to see because we have one more series today, and it's between Bren Victress and X10. These 4, by the way, are my clear top 4 teams for Open 2.
Definite top 4, without a doubt. If there are any teams that have shown the most growth, the most consistency, it's these 4. Alter Ego Celeste, without a doubt. Team SMG, clearly. Of course, Bren Esports Victress as well, just coming in and making tremendous leaps and bounds. And of course, X10 Crit still coming back into the game despite having despite being knocked down into its lower bracket. But again, that is one heck of a rematch because the ones who threw them into a lower bracket, I'm pretty sure, were Bren Esports Victress.
Yeah, and we're gonna see that matchup again shortly. We're gonna go for a quick break before we go to our last best of 3 of the day. Don't go away.